Kafka initially showed more confidence about the test, but soon relapses, becoming desperate about the impending results. Later, the results finally arrive, and whatever they may be, it's Kafka's last chance to join the team. Meanwhile, at the defense base, Shinomiya receives congratulations from Mina Ashiro herself for passing first and for doing an excellent job in handling the exam incident. However, she doesn't like it. She didn't defeat that thing, and she thinks Kafka should be there instead of her. He not only saved her, but also showed concern for her. She is also curious about the Kaiju's form and wants to find out more about it. Before she finishes her thoughts, Kafka enters the room, apologizing for arriving like this. In the decision council of the successful candidates, Kafka was about to be failed. Mina wanted to disagree with that, but it would go against the rules. Hashina then begins to speak, mentioning that it would be normal to fail Kafka for scoring 0% in the suit extraction. But he surprised during the final stage and also provided great comic relief. With that said, he decided to take Kafka as his cadet, and he will personally train him. Kafka and Mina lock eyes again, and she is very happy inside. She starts to give an inspiring speech, stating that the kaiju strength is increasing more and more, and everyone needs to surpass themselves. In this, Kafka becomes very inspired and ends up thinking out loud, calling Mina by her first name. This surprises everyone, and he receives 100 push-ups as punishment. Hashina bursts out laughing again. However, when Mina passes by Hashina to leave, he sees that she smiled. Hashina didn't recruit Kafka just because he's a good comedian or because he thinks he has potential. He suspects there's something more to him. When the system indicated 9.8 of power coming from a kaiju, Kafka's vital signs were also lost. In addition to his low power, Hashina feels something strange about Kafka, so he will keep him close. 2 months later, the training of the new team begins. Ichikawa manages to increase his suit power to 18%. Shinomiya raises hers to 55%, while Kafka achieves the incredible feat of releasing 1% of suit power, and he loves it, not missing the chance to show off to Shinomiya, even though she has 53% more. Hashina remarks that at this rate, Kafka will unfortunately be dismissed in 3 months. The training continues, and everyone puts in a lot of effort. During shower time, the boys compete to see who has the biggest biceps, but they are all beaten by Kafka, if it weren't for his big belly. They start discussing why they joined the defense team, and everyone responds that it's because of Captain Ashiro. After all, she's the heroine of this generation. When they discover that Kafka is Mina's childhood friend, everyone is impressed, asking for all the details of the story. They end up spending too much time in the shower and feel dizzy. Later, Kafka realizes he needs to put in twice the effort of the others, but Hashina appears and says that sleeping is also part of the training. Kafka says he can't be fired, and Hashina already knows about his promise with Mina. He listens to every part of the base. His promise is to fight alongside Mina, and Hashina sees that he wants his position. Kafka says, "Exactly," and that annoys Hashina a bit, saying he can come for it. He gives Kafka 2 more hours, and then he'll have to turn off the lights. He leaves and advises not to get too close to the other members. In this line of work, anything can happen. Just then, the alert starts ringing. It's time for Kafka and the others' first mission. Sometime earlier, Kafka, Ichikawa, and Shinomiya were discussing Kafka being a kaiju. He even considers telling the defense team. Perhaps they can help, but Shinomiya is against it. They would conduct experiments on him, his life would be cut short. Additionally, she learned that numbered kaijus are used for experiments. Shinomiya makes it clear that if Kafka ever threatens humanity, she will terminate him herself. Kafka doesn't mind and says he's counting on her. Arriving at the scene, this new kaiju resembles a mushroom. The commander assigns troops to strategic positions and sends them into combat. Kafka needs to prove his worth and stay on the defense team. Tension, panic, pressure from all sides, but still, Kafka is excited. After all, it's the job of his dreams. They try to make this first mission a true success, and thus they head into battle. Kafka gets too excited and rushes ahead, but he's thrown back hard by a smaller kaiju. Shinomiya tells him to stay back with his 1%. They still don't know the enemy's vital points. They need to wait for the front line to provide the information. Shinomiya effortlessly takes down several smaller kaijus while trying to find the vital point. She is praised by Kafka and even hesitates at this moment, and her suit notifies her that her pulse has started racing, which embarrasses her. On the other side of the squad, Ichikawa and the others are fighting against smaller kaijus too. Ichikawa manages to take down a large kaiju by switching his explosive blasts for freezing ones, which suits his style better, but it's not enough. He wants to get stronger so Kafka doesn't have to transform. While everyone is gradually improving in combat, Kafka can't keep up. He tries to think of a way to be useful and remembers that they still don't know the kaiju's vital point. He needs to fight using his own weapons. Kafka then begins to tear apart the dead kaiju in search of a weakness. He discovers that it's a fungus-type kaiju, but the core isn't where it should be. In this, he discovers something interesting and contacts Captain Hashina. Kafka finds out where the core was hidden, near the column below the neck, but there's something more to it. Youjus also have reproductive organs. If this organ remains intact, even after the Youju's death, new Youjus can be born. Hashina congratulates him on a job well done. In addition to work experience, his daily studies have brought drastic results, which is very good. The information is passed on to the entire troop. Mina springs into action and uses a super-strength cannon to destroy the giant kaiju. Hashina says that's the level of the person Kafka wants to become. Mina targets the giant kaiju with the third shot while thinking of Kafka and their promise. She has 96% suit extraction. The kaiju goes down with the third shot, but Mina prepares the fourth and then the fifth, even though the creature's vital signs are at 0. Kafka sees that Mina's power is truly monstrous. It's incomparable to what he saw on TV or through binoculars. Hashina appears, asking if he wants to give up already. Standing by the captain means equaling her. However, Hashina couldn't do the same as her in any way. His power released for firearms is low, so he doesn't fare well against such large threats. But for small and medium sizes, he's sensational. Unlike others, Hashina uses swords instead of firearms. Captains and vice-captains have the highest combat aptitude, so they are equipped in the most appropriate way possible. Mina eliminated the larger kaiju, but it's not over yet. The main threat is the smaller kaijus, and there was a vast number of them stored in the larger kaiju, and now that it has been taken down, they're all coming at once. Among everyone in the defense team, most reach 20 to 30% suit release at their peak. Only Shinomiya surpasses this barrier, but there's someone else with great potential, and that's Ichikawa. He's outpacing the others more and more quickly. While they fought, a strange individual regrets them discovering the reproductive organs he implanted in the smaller kaijus, wondering if there's a kaiju interior specialist in the troop.